Hey guys, Chrono, and I'm here today to talk about how the Anti-Spell Festival event has gone for me. This took me a while to finally come down to this build that I've got. And it's basically interrupt control. So I use the Virtuous there to get out Fallen of Albaz, and then I go to my fusion monsters to usually disrupt what my opponent's doing. Lord of the Heavenly Prison is to protect all my traps. Then I've got my Majespecter core just because I know the consistency of that, and then I've got the Eldlich cards. It's been okay. I've tried several builds for this deck at this point, and this was the one that I had the most success with. I mean, I've tried just so many different archetypes, and it's amazing how different this is without actual spells. So I just thought I would share with you guys my deck profile, and I also wanted to show you my win percentage with the deck, because it really surprised me how well it did. So as you can see, I've had some losses recently with it, but overall I've won about 65% of my games, and I faced quite a few decks. Quite a few Jinzo decks, which I thought was really interesting. That's not been uncommon, especially with being a trap festival. I'm not surprised to see that at all. Phantom Knights is a pretty solid build for sure. And one thing I'm sure you're noticing, my games take forever. So this was kind of fun, the Emancipator build. It wasn't too hard with the control that I was playing, so it actually worked out just fine. Ran into a lot of Tri-Brigade at times with the Lyraless cards. But again, notice that I've had some pretty good consistency against these decks where I've been able to pull out the win. That was an interesting one, that water deck. I thought that was kind of a fun build my opponent had. Dinos have actually put in some pretty good work against me, but I've been really pleased with how I feel like I've adapted to that meta. Because it's definitely one of the stronger decks that I've faced, but I've definitely found a way, I feel, to seal the deal if I need to, which has been really nice. So yeah, as you can see, there's a huge variety of different decks that I have ran into, and again, some of it works out just fine, and then other times it's just a real struggle. But again, 65% of the time, I've been able to actually pull out a win. So I feel pretty good about that consistency. That is the deck I use the most, 10 Yi Sword Soul. I really thought that was going to be the build. I was convinced that was the best build probably for this. Nope. I was able to really take that out quite a bit more than I would have thought. It just wasn't as good as I anticipated it being. The Dark World deck did okay. As you can see, another water deck. Those I really haven't had too many issues with. There was a frog deck that I ran into, and I'm pretty sure I included in here. That one I was a little frustrated with because I had misplayed my Max C. Had I played that at a different time, I'm pretty confident I would have won that. Again, another strong Zodiac build there, but I was able to take it out with, and I always go first. That's the whole strategy for me, is I always want to make sure that I go first when I'm playing. If not, it's too hard going second. You've got to go first, I feel, in this format, especially with it being traps. That plant deck was really fun to face. Same thing here with this Odd Eyes build, because I did see quite a few Pendulum decks. At first, I didn't think you'd actually be able to play Pendulum. The reason being, well, I just didn't anticipate that being the case, because it's also considered a spell, I thought. So when I saw that that was a possibility, that's when I went to my Majespecters. You know, Time Lords is also an interesting choice because of the burn that they could do. That was something that I thought about playing. But here, to me, is the best deck, the Altergeist. If I had the gems, I probably would have made that, but I just didn't have the gems to do it, which was pretty frustrating. I did like this build where it was 10 Yi combined with water. I thought that put in some pretty good work. But just to show you the potential of the deck and how it actually functions, if I can find it here. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and show you one of the matches that I had. And again, this plant deck was a lot of fun to face. I thought it was really an interesting build. And when my deck goes off, you'll get to see that it goes off pretty well if I can get it to work the right way. So not a bad hand at all. I feel good what I've got here. So notice he goes ahead and starts with the Rika monsters here. And I thought, oh, okay, kind of interesting. As soon as I see that he's going to special, I go ahead and chain my Max C. That worked out perfectly, except for the Ash. At least that was my thinking originally, like, oh good, this is gonna work. And then he chains that. And that's been the only answer to Max C that I've seen in this format is the Ash. I haven't seen anything else work. So goes ahead and gets everything going the way that he wants to here. But thankfully I still have the hand trap in the hand. The Primal Being puts in so much work. That's what's nice about this deck. I do run quite a few hand traps, and I feel like you have to. Yeah, you're going to run into some rogue decks here or there, but overall you should be able to handle that. Okay, so then just ends with the face down. I'm thinking, okay, I think I'm in a good place here. I keep going back and forth on the Heavenly Prison. I mean, so much. Now, an instant chain of Max C, but that's okay for me because I was just getting a card on the end phase of Cat there. Go to battle phase, attack in, get rid of that token, and then attack for the 100 because you never know. It's always good to get extra damage if you can to. And then I go ahead and go for the next level 3 in the Majespecters deck. He's so good. You know, Raccoon, you just summon him, and man, everything goes really well with Raccoon. Okay, so I go ahead and chain the Eldlich card here. Okay, Scarlet Sanguine to get him out. So there's the Golden Lord. So he hits the field. And I see that it's a very similar first turn all over again. And I'm fine with that because I just want to make sure I had bodies on the field. I didn't think he'd have a way to just take everything away right away. So I thought that would work pretty well. Now, I do have another form of interruption with my Majespecter trap. That vanishes, which I'm really excited about. But then he plays the Sun Avalon card. And with this one, I should have attacked differently than I end up doing. I forgot about the second effect, where if you attack with that thing, it ends up giving you life points instead, which you guys are going to see here shortly. But I use Raccoon, okay, then after that I go ahead and I set up my Pendulum Scale, then I'm going to go ahead and Pendulum Summon, and I like how everything's going so far. Cat's going to give me a search on the end phase. Now, this card put in so much work for me with this event. I was shocked how much Decode Talker ended up working really well for me. So my original thinking here was I could go for game, which is why you see me summoning the way that I do. But notice, he takes the damage, but then he gains it back, then he gets the special summon out, and I was like, oh yeah, crap, I totally forgot about that. So I go ahead and attack in again, and so he's pretty low at this point. Use the effect of Conquistador to set Scarlet Sanguine, and then of course on Cat, I go ahead and get another Raccoon, and so I'm feeling pretty confident about how things are going. And as you can see, the deck does have lots of consistency once it starts moving. It's really, really fun in this way. But same, again, this is the third time we're seeing the plant combo here from this player. Now this time, I don't have any interruptions. So he's going to be able to get everything off that he's wanting to do here. And it's a pretty solid build. You know, I didn't think it was bad at all. And I really like the cards that he gets out here. I think they're very effective. And so she can definitely put in quite a bit of work here, Queen. And the reason being is she tributes cards, which is really nice. Anytime you've got a plant or any type of monster that can do that, it's pretty effective. Now, so right away, there's the targeting. I trigger using Decode Talker. Then the trap goes off here. And so I'm thinking, okay, kind of interesting where we are here with that combo. And I did allow him to go ahead and take the Eldlich card. because I honestly thought I'm going to get it back on the end phase. So that really shouldn't be an issue. I do chain here though, okay, so because the trap was actually activated. And then I also get out Scarlet Sanguine. So that's going to resolve first. So that goes ahead and specials, and of course want it to an arrow that's pointing to, just to beef that up if I can. So that goes ahead and gets taken out, and another card to get taken out. Really not a problem, and the main reason that I'm feeling that way is I know I'm going to get a trap off Scarlet Sanguine. So I really like what I've got here. It's looking very solid for me. And so I go ahead and set Akirio, normal summon a raccoon. I go ahead and get the Majespecter card. Now I go ahead and pendulum summon. You guys know me, I'm a pendulum guy. And I did end up having a mistake here that I wish I would have done a little differently. Okay, so notice this is gonna go off first. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and try and use the effect, but he's gonna chain, I'm gonna chain back. Okay. And there it is. So really smart decision here. So he pops my card, and then I'm not able to actually get the special summon off that I wanted. I wish I would have baited that a little differently, because I think that would have put in some major work had I done that. But that's okay, you know, it happens. Okay, and then just to make sure I go for game, and again, another clutch link monster, the Underworld Goddess. I mean, she works really well. And then there's the surrender. So I feel like that goes through quite a bit of what the deck can do, as you guys can see. So it's a pretty solid build if it gets going. Now, does it brick? Oh yeah, it definitely bricks at times, which is why I'm very concerned if I'm even gonna finish the festival. I've been so busy coaching and just other life priorities, I just haven't had a lot of time for Yu-Gi-Oh! And as a result, it's just been super busy. Okay, so I see that I'm facing a pendulum build, and I thought, ooh, okay, interesting. I like pendulum. And obviously, if you watch my channel, you know that. That's always something that I'm very into. And I thought it was probably going to be the pendulum control trap, playing if you do the pendulum magicians, but that wasn't the case. And so I thought, ooh, kind of interesting to see a different build here. So Electromite is so good. That card really has put in a lot of work this festival, I feel, for people who play it. I don't have the gems. That's also a big reason why I don't play more meta type things. I just don't have the gems, guys. And because I don't have the gems, because I just don't disassemble all the time, because then if I want to play that deck again, I'm all frustrated because I disassembled it. So because of that, I do things a little different. Okay, so right away I'm going to normal summon Raccoon. That's going to go ahead and give me another Majespecter card. Go ahead and set my scales. And right away I see the Maxi, and I'm really not that worried about that because I'm only doing one summon. So I thought, okay, that's not a big deal. So I go ahead and do my Pendulum summon. And so go ahead and get out 2 cards here. I'm going to go ahead and use Fox's effects. And that's going to give me a trap from the deck. And then Cat on resolution will go ahead and give me a Majespecter card. So, and then I go ahead and set 2. There's Cat's effect on the end phase. And so I'm feeling pretty solid based on what I've got. I didn't think that was too bad. So overall, not too bad here. And of course, this Pendulum player is going through all the motions here, getting everything out. And I knew there was going to be a pretty big summon. So there come the Odd Eyes cards. Now, I do have a misplay here. There's the misplay. I was pretty upset that I ended up chaining that. I just wasn't thinking. And because of that, I could have gotten a little bit more control had I just been a little bit more patient. And so I was a little frustrated because now instead of doing damage right away, I actually have to wait for a little bit here. And unfortunately, that is Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes. You know, you just you're thinking through things and you're like, oh crap, yeah, I forgot about that. So I get everything out here, and I should have left a card in the hand because Fallen of Albaz, I need to discard a card in order for that to work, but the timing's already too late. So it's still okay because I knew I still had the trap, but it was a wasted situation that didn't have to be. So I was a little frustrated by that because that would have been close to game, and instead this gives him an opportunity to actually go ahead and do some things. So the token has to go first. So I get rid of that. I know this Odd Eyes card, it's going to deal me 1200 damage, and it's going to do it again. Oh wait, no, that's right, it doesn't do it again. That's only once per turn. But even still, you know, that's a problem. I hate taking burn. Now, I did like the hand trap here. I do go ahead and play my trap right away. And the reason being, I wanted to make sure that if he's going to get out the Odd Eyes, that I have a way to get past that. So there's Vortex. He's going to use the effect. And I was surprised by this. He put the Primal Beam back in my hand. I just didn't anticipate that. I thought that would be different. And then he goes for IP, and so not bad. I mean, you know, that's a pretty solid comeback. And literally, I thought to myself, man, I just really messed that up. Okay, so now I normal summon the Primal Being. I know. Well, when does that happen, right? Believe it or not, it actually happened to me quite a few times. This time I do this correctly. I leave a card in the hand. So that definitely helps me here. Or I'll have a card, I mean, yeah. So I go ahead and use the effect. And that's what I wanted. I wanted that bait there. Okay, so there it is. Okay, and that stops Fox, but now Fox is going to come out and give me, or not Fox, but Raccoon gives me a card, and then I'm able to get rid of it. And then this chain, this blew me away. I was expecting Nightmare Phoenix, right? Or, Unicorn. The effect has already been activated. This is a terrible decision. Okay, so that leads to me getting out my card, Mirror Jade, and I thought, oh yeah, now we're in good shape. I forgot about the Pendulum ability. That is pretty good. I just go ahead and banish, and then attack in. Okay, so not bad. Okay, and then main phase 2, just because I don't want to have little stuff out there, I go ahead and go for Codebreaker Vire Swordsman, just to have a bigger body on the field. Use Hakirio's effect, that's going to set the Scarlet Sanguine. And then the effect of that card going to the grave, it's going to give me 2 cards back. And that's what I really wanted, was the ability to have those cards back, knowing what my opponent's playing, because I can just do that combo again. So it's a really great advantage that I really enjoyed using. Okay, so everything's coming out. He's going to go ahead and attack. Now this time, because there's 2 Odd Eyes, I take 2,400 damage. And so he's definitely finding a way to get me down. Goes for the Starving Venom. I do chain here, getting out Scarlet Sanguine. I didn't want him going into something that would stop me. Uses Electromite to copy, and then that's going to give him Astrograph Sorcerer. And so this was a tough situation for him because he ended up putting it out in defense. I think an attack probably would have been the better way to go. So I get an Ash, not really any help to me at this point. Go ahead and chain, putting Conquistador out. Now I'm going to Pendulum Summon, and I love being able to do that. It's just so useful. Okay, so the effect's going to go off. That's going to resolve. Pitch that Ash because it's no longer in use to me. Use the effect, and that's going to go ahead and give me another card. Really like that I can do that. Love this card because it can't be destroyed by battle. And then Raccoon gives me a card. Go ahead and normal summon it, setting the trap. So I'm all ready for the next turn. Uses the effect, taking it to 0. That's fine. Attack in, and then I attack for green. It was a really close duel. I mean, I thought it was one that was definitely worth sharing with you guys because the back and forth with it was just so fantastic. I thought, man, that's pretty solid. And so to wrap up this video, I did want to show you what I feel is the best deck in the format. Not that one. Okay, so what I feel is the best deck in the format is clearly for me the Altergeist build. I mean, this is a really, really strong build that, again, if I had the gems, I would have obviously played because it's trap focused. So obviously this should probably be the way that people are going to go, right? But again, you guys know me, many times it's just not going to work because you really have to put in the time with the gems. So right away goes for Witch. I'm gonna link off Witch here. Brings out the Link monster. Witch's effect is going to go off, which is really good, giving a multi-faker. I thought that was a pretty good play, actually, to make sure that the search happened. Now, right away, there's a max C here. I thought, well, no going back now at this point. So I go ahead and use the Virtuous here. Okay, and then I use the effect of Fallen of Albaz, pitch a card in the hand, and that's going to go ahead and draw in. So, like that's on the field now. Okay, and then one more is actually set. So overall, not awful. And then I'm not exactly happy about what I drew. I honestly would have liked probably a different card in that situation. Normal summon now of Majespecters Toad. That goes ahead and gives me a card. Now right here, Protocol is chained, and then here comes Multi-Faker, and I knew that was coming, so I go ahead and chain my max C. Thinking, okay, that should give me a draw here of at least 2 cards, depending on what else he brings out. So Multi-Faker's effect goes off. I do try to stop that by sending a card from the extra deck, but he's got the Imperm. So a really solid Imperm that more than likely ended up changing quite a bit of the duel here, and it slowed me down. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Why do you not have Imperms in your deck profile? I did have Imperms in my deck profile, but I found that there are many times it just didn't help me as much as I wanted. And so because of that, I did do some differences. I do try to get rid of Protocol there, just because that's really solid. Then I use the effect of the Fusion monster, and then that gives me my card advantage back to the hand. So I'm actually feeling pretty solid with how things are going. Now, I thought Manifest might be there. I thought that was a possibility. That's such a good card for special summoning from the grave. I set Hikirio by getting rid of Scarlet Sanguine. The Altergeist card comes out. Here comes Multi-Faker. I do try to chain here, and I thought this was a really good decision. Just goes ahead and uses the effect to bounce. This does give me the Heavenly Prison coming out, so I thought, okay, well, that's at least something. But I wasn't anticipating just what else was going to happen here. Of course, my card fizzles, which really stinks. There's the special summon, and I do like this from the level 2. That's going to actually give him Protocol back, which is really strong. But I'm thinking, okay, I've got a turn, that should be fine. Surprised to see that the level 1 came out. I just wasn't anticipating that. I thought, okay, I wonder what he's going to do here, because I play Altergeist. This is a deck that I know extremely well. If you guys watch the channel, you know that I've made different builds of it. I really enjoy it. And I really enjoyed watching this guy's act with it. I thought, man, he's really got some good stuff going on here. So it brings out the Link 3. Then the effect of the level 1 is going to go off. And what's nice about this, it just gets added back to the hand. I mean, that is really very effective. Something that I probably should add to my own build. Manifestation going back. Normal summon, that's going to allow him to set a trap directly from the deck. Haunted Rock's really good because you can activate it that turn. So anytime you have a trap that can actually do that, that's pretty solid. And right away I thought, oh dear, this is not good. We've got several Link monsters out at this point. And so, and then comes the boss, and I thought, oh no, I'm in trouble. I thought, I don't think I have a way out of this at this point. And so I thought, well, it was a good duel. Because This gains the attack of another card, and so he attacks in, and then he can use the effect again to get rid of my card and then attack for gain. It's an awesome OTK that I thought I should share with you guys just because it's just so effective. So yeah, so there it is. I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the end because it takes so long to do these duels. But guys, that's the deck profile. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know what you think down in the comments below. We'd also love to have you hit that like button and be subscribers to the channel. If you ever want to catch what we're doing live, we'd love to have you guys be a part of our Twitch community. Hey, thanks again so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.
But I wait for your next challenge. I know that you